Hello and welcome to Everything April YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I cut this short kimono jacket. This is an open front jacket and it's a beginner friendly tutorial and it's easy to make. I will be using 1 yard of satin fabric and 1 yard of Ankara fabric for this tutorial. I have my satin fabric folded into two for the front part and the back part folded into two as well, and I've gone ahead to draw out my vertical lines. From my shoulder line to my chest line is 8 inches, from shoulder to waist is 15.5 inches, from shoulder to hip is 22.5 inches, and from my shoulder to the end of the satin fabric I have 30 inches and half inch to join it to the Ankara fabric. For the Ankara fabric I have about 6 inches, 4 inches to complete the length of the gown to 34 inches, and I have 1.5 inches for hemming the lower part and half inch to join the Ankara fabric to the satin fabric. Now let's get into the cutting. On my shoulder line I'll be imputing the 3 inches 8 inches standard for shoulder slope, like so. Then on the 8 inches mark I'm coming down by 1 inch, which I would connect to the 3 inches mark to draw out my shoulder slope. After doing that, on the shoulder line I will be adding half of my across back, half of my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 14 divided by 2 is 7, so I would be imputing 7 inches on the shoulder line, like so, and then I would repeat the same on the chest line, like so. I would still mark that and join the two lines together. I would measure out the lines starting from the shoulder slope to the chest, then I'll find the center of this line and mark it like so. Then I'll be coming in from this point by half inch to make out my front armhole. Before that, I will be adding quarter of my chest line on the chest measurement line. On the chest line I'll be adding quarter of my bust circumference, which is 34 divided by 4 to give me 8.5. Then I add 1 inch for ease and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then I'll be using my armhole curve. I would connect the measurements like so. And then I'll go ahead to use the curve to draw out my back armhole, like so. Then on the waistline I'll be adding quarter of my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 29 divided by 4 will give me 7.25 plus 1 inch for ease, that's 8.25. Then I'll be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. On my hip I'll be adding quarter of my hip measurement, which is 39 divided by 4 will give me 9.75 plus 1 inch for ease, which will make it 10.75. Then I'll be adding 1 inch seam allowance, like so. Then at the hemline I'll be bringing down the measurement of my hip to the hemline, like so. Then I'll go ahead to connect these lines together using my ruler, like so. Then on the neck, um, for the neckline, I'll be maintaining the 3 inches I have in front. Then for the back neck depth, I'll be using 1 inch. So the neck width is 3 inches and the depth is 1 inch for the back. And I'm going ahead to add seam allowance for joining the shoulders together, like so. Then at this point, I would go ahead and um, cut out our measurement like so. I have to cut out both the front and the back. At this point, both the front and the back are the same. So I'll go ahead and trim out um, the fabric, the side that are not needed. I'll be cutting the back armhole first. And as well, cut out the neckline for the back as well, like so. After cutting this, I'm going to separate the back and the front to concentrate on the front. I'll go ahead and measure out our neckline for the front. Using the chest line, I'll be coming in by 3/4 of an inch, like so. I'll be coming in by 3/4 of an inch, 0.75, like so. Then using a straight ruler, I'll be joining from the neck down to the chest line, like so. And then I'll be coming up from the waistline by 2 inches. Then I'll use a curve rule to connect these 2 inches I came up by to the chest line, the line on the chest line, like so. I'll be connecting the 2 lines together like so as to make the front part to relax very well on the bust area. And this will be our front neckline. I'll go ahead and trim out my front neckline like so. I'll also split open the remaining part of the front like so. And I'll also trim out the front armhole. So I've cut the front and the back now. I would go to the sewing machine and join them together at the shoulder using the half inches allowance I have, after which I would attach the Ankara part to the lower part of the satin fabric. I have cut out for the front and as well as the back, so I'll go ahead and join these two together. For the sleeves, I've used a pattern which I have, a short sleeve pattern which I have on my channel. I'll be dropping the link on the description box below on how I cut out this sleeve pattern. I've used it to draft out the sleeve for this Ankara fabric. The length is 7 inches, and I'll be adding Ankara, about 2 inches of Ankara fabric to the satin fabric to make it complete length of 9 inches. The difference between this pattern and the sleeve I have here is I've gone ahead to add ease and seam allowance to the opening of the sleeve, and also half inch to join the sleeve to the dress. I've gone ahead to join the front and the back at the shoulder using half inch seam allowance. I've also attached the Ankara part to the satin part like so. Then I would measure out the collar in order to cut out the collar part, the part to finish off the neckline of this dress. Starting from the center back, I'll be measuring from the center back. From the center back, I'll be measuring down just like so to one side of this dress to the front till the end of the length in the front, and I have about 41 inches. That means I'll be cutting two of these, that is about 43 to 44 83 to 84 inches I'll be cutting out to finish up the neck. I've gone ahead to cut out a fabric for this, for the collar or the collar, and I've ironed the lightest interfacing on it. And on fold I have about 2.5 inches, and the length is about 84 inches of length. I'll be using it to finish up the neck. So I would go to my sewing machine and I'll be putting this from the center, or not the center, and I'll start the center of the collar, the neck part. I'll be joining the collar. Starting from the center, I would sew one side down and then the other side. I will be putting the Ankara fabric on the right side of the satin fabric and then sew to the end of the dress, the opening of the dress in front. Then I'll go ahead and join the dress, the jacket by the sides, and then hem the lower part and also add the sleeves. And I would do all this and I would come back and show you the outcome. So I've joined everything together. I've joined the two sides together. I've attached the sleeves as well as the Ankara part to the sleeve. I attached it the same way I attached the collar part to the dress. I'm gonna head to attach everything. I top stitched on the Ankara side for the collar stand, and I also went ahead to hem the end of the dress. And this is the final outcome of our dress. If this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Thank you.